Ready when you're
All right. Notice is hereby given that this is a regular meeting of the City Council of the City of Sandy Oaks, Texas, being held today, Thursday, August 10th, 2023 at 6:30 p.m. at City Hall, 22870 Priest Road, Sandy Oaks, Texas, where a quorum of the City Council is present. All agenda items are subject to action. Time is now 6:33 p.m. Of course, we are broadcasting this meeting via Zoom. Please look at the agenda if you'd like to find that link. The public has been permitted to offer public comments as provided by the agenda and as permitted by the presiding officer during the meeting by signing up with the city secretary in person at least 15 minutes in advance of the meeting or by emailing or calling the city secretary at cityclerk@cityofsandyoaks.com at least 2 hours in advance of the meeting. Any written comments received at least 2 hours in advance of the meeting have been provided to the city council for consideration. Madam Secretary, may I have a call to order?
Yes, our Mayor Pro Tem is absent, Mayor Pro Tem Alvarado,
Yes, ma'am.
or Martinez, Alderwoman Martinez,
Yes, ma'am.
Alderman Rapino,
Here.
Alderman Koppendacker,
Here.
Alderman Fillinger.
Here.
We have the city secretary and the city attorney. You have one.
Okay, may I have you stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, citizens to be heard. Persons wishing to speak may sign up with the city secretary in the time and manner as indicated above. Madam Secretary, do we have anybody signed up?
No, dude.
Okay, moving on to the mayor and administrator announcements. So a couple of things to talk through right now. First of all, I want to wish all the teachers and the students returning back to class a very prosperous new year. And I hope they do well, and I hope they have a good time and kids learn and teachers are happy. And obviously all the staff and administrators and kids are safe for the next school year. Also, I want to give a shout out to those that were able to attend the P&Z training last Friday. Lots of informative, lots of information there. A little bit more in depth than probably I was expecting. I would have liked more of an introductory, but it was still some good information to know. And if you work the room, you can network with a lot of people. So thank you to those that were able to attend. Big news. Actually, I'll save the big news for the end of this. So moving forward, Hilltop Peaks and Loman the project is doing well. There have been a couple of hiccups with water and some equipment and culverts and things like that. But I mean, that's to be expected with construction and as you're blocking people's driveways. So if the citizens hear of anything or know of anything that we're not aware of, just reach out, let us know the situation, and we'll try to address it as best as we can. We do have our third officer now in training. So big congratulations to him. That's going to really help our city and kind of cover some of the gaps that we've had for just operating basically off of two, not including the chief. And then of course we have our ACO who's 3 weeks into it now, more or less. And so I've heard good things from about her, and she's really helping kind of reduce the animals, or at least try to round up the animals and find them places to go and really kind of trying to clean up our streets. So thank you to her and that team. And then lastly, the big news that I wanted to share. So a few months ago, I applied for a grant for Red Mountain Drive to get that street refurbished. And Commissioner Clay Flores called me late yesterday afternoon and said we had been awarded a $300,000 grant. So that project is going to kick off pretty quickly. I got to get a hold of the city engineer, but that's exciting. So in the next 2 weeks, we're going to confirm when she's coming. She'll be presenting one of the big checks. So it should be a good time, right? So I want to invite those citizens that live on that road to come up personally to the next meeting, but I'm still trying to confirm her schedule because they're going to be the ones affected. So they need to be a part of the celebration too. But that is all the announcements that I have for today. Moving on to number 5, consent agenda. All matters listed under consent agenda are considered routine by the City Council of the City of Sandy Oaks and will be enacted by one motion. There will not be separate discussion of these items. If discussion is desired, that item will be removed from the consent agenda and will be considered separately. So go ahead and take a look at your consent agenda and make sure you agree or not.
There are no objections. I move that we approve the consent agenda.
One second.
Okay, so I have a motion from Alderman Rapino and a second from Alderwoman Martinez. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed? Thank you. All right, moving on to agenda item 6, financial report. The income and expenses for July 2023 will be reported by the city secretary, Ms. Captain Yelton, and with possible discussion and action. Madam Secretary, you have the floor.
Thank you. So for the general fund, the beginning balance as of July 1st was $283,167.11. We had checks and payments of $110,432.58. Deposits and credits of $49,071.89, leaving an ending balance as of July 31st, 2023 of $221,806.42. Just a reminder that one of the $110 checks and payments included the payment from, I think it was the ARPA fund to pay off the rest of the bond fund. I think that's what that was. ARPA fund, there was no change during July, so the balance as of the end of July, $539,781.28. The road bond fund still has a balance in there of $23.03. And then we have the TVA grant, no change in that. So the balance as of 7/31/23 is $51,970 even. And this is budget details.
On the, actually, no, never mind, it's here. But we look at the last page, the net income, we're showing a net income of positive 188,000. And which is a difference of your gross profit minus your total expense. Is that, am I looking at that correctly?
Yes, that's the way I understand.
Okay,
Mhm.
y'all see that? Okay. Any questions on the financial report?
Well, if there are no questions on the financial report, I move that we accept the financial report as reported.
I'll second that.
Okay, so I have a motion from Alderman Rapino and a second from Alderman Coffindaffer to accept the the financial report as presented. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Thank you. All right, moving on. Police Department updates and announcements from Chief Lopez with possible discussion and interaction. Chief, you got any updates or announcements?
No, just to reiterate the announcements that you had stated earlier, the hiring of a new animal control officer, Ashley, as she comes in. And so she's been a great addition, already helping, making a big impact with her experience in animals. She's also had to switch over because I'm training Officer Casas, so Officer Maldonado stepped in and is training her. So we're still looking to probably continue the training till the end of the month. And hopefully she should be released by the end of the month. And then with the addition of with the new officer, Officer Casillas, started his training at the end of July. Still working on his full training. So hopefully if everything goes well, should be released by the end of October. So those two additions definitely making an impact within the community, along with public safety and calls for service and minimizing crime that we have here. So it's a big step from where we started 4 years ago, from just myself to 3 full-time officers, along with an animal control officer. So.
Cool. Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
All right, moving on. Next to the presentation of monthly report by Chief Lopez. Chief, you have the floor once again.
So for the month of July, we had, month of July was really busy for us, and the court as well. We had 100, starting at the top, we had 110 court defendants, 235 cases. Moving down to traffic stops, if you look at the previous months, we had 140 traffic stops, with 179 citations issued, with 68 warnings. Calls for service with myself was 14, corporal was 31, and then Officer Maldonado was 34. And then Officer Casillas, taking some reports as well. So moving down to calls for assist, we had 10 arrests for the month of July, 1 call for service for Bexar County Fire, 4 calls for service for EMS, 3 calls for service for assist other law enforcement agency. And moving down for call for services, burglary of residents, 2 calls for information reports, 1 for injured sick adult, and 1 threats call. Moving down to city ordinance violations, we had 1 citation for junk vehicle, 3 citations for skirting mobile. And then going down to disturbances, we had 1 criminal trespass issued, 1 damaged property, 1 disturbance noise, 3 disturbance verbal, and 3 family disturbances. And then moving to the second page, we have 1 call for service for on property, 1 shots heard fire disturbance, 1 shots heard report, 1 suspicious activity, 2 calls for suspicious vehicle, 1 telephone harassment, 2 thefts, 1 theft ID. Moving down to animal control, we had 1 call for animal bite, 1 call for animal cruelty or neglect, 3 calls for service for animal dogs loose, and for we had 20 citations issued for loose dogs. So that's a big impacting for the month of July. 3 citations were issued for the stray livestock. We had 3 goats running loose. Then vehicle traffic, we had 1 for evading, 1 reckless driver, 9 towed vehicles such as no insurance or no driver's license, and 1 vehicle fire. Civil matters, we had 1 custody or visitation civil matter, and 4 general civil matters, and 2 welfare checks. And then they're looking for the rest of the month of July. We had 4 residents that were arrested and 6 non-residents. Looking to the right, I believe you had 1, 2, 3, 4 arrests for SAPD traffic warrants. Also 2 arrests for aggravated assault with deadly weapons, assault family violence as well. That individual was arrested twice, probably 1 week after another. And then assault, family impeding breath, and violation of protective order. So some months are usually very busy.
Hottest one. Can you tell me a little bit more about the animal cruelty and then the animal bite? And what was the situation and how they were handled?
So the animal cruelty was just a call for service for an individual caught, I believe, observed a dog that was tied up. They were concerned that he was with the heat, that he didn't have the proper shade and food and water. There was food and water and proper shade as well for that call for service.
Good.
And then for the animal bites, can you let me on that?
Yeah, Humble Bite was off of us this year. The dog was picked up and, he's the next.
Okay. Any questions?
What are we doing to enforce this protective order on this individual? That name's got 2 offenses for the assault and also violating the protective order, so
Yeah, he had that warrant, and so he was arrested, I believe, by Corporal Castillo. And then probably a week later, that conditions of bond wasn't lifted. And so she was with him at that time. And so he was arrested for conditions of bond. They're not supposed to have any contact with each other. And so arrested together.
okay.
Until that conditions of bond is lifted, he's to be arrested.
Okay. All right, moving on. Animal control. Discuss enter possible action on quotes received for the purchase of an animal control transport truck or trailer. All right, so as you can see in your packet here, we got an option that I think would be okay. And the reason why I say that, right, is because the biggest concern with our animal control is lifting an animal of any size that's not wanting to be lifted 3 or 4 feet off the ground. However, we just have to properly train ourselves, learn how to lift them up properly without injuring. And so what we wanted to do is basically present the idea of basically a retrofit to the current truck that we have from Jones Manufacturing to install basically I don't know what you would call it, a camper in a sense that would hold.
The animal control slide in.
There you go, a slide in. I think this one is 4 stalls and to the tune of about $9,900. The other option that I did have was a pull behind trailer. I realize it's a little more difficult in a sense of navigating the streets and having to back up and things like that, especially if you're chasing a dog down a rural road. So I mean that it's not without its own faults. However, it does eliminate the idea of actually loading a dog into something that's 3 or 4 feet off the ground. So neither are perfect, but I mean we got to
This
provide.
particular one was reviewed with the animal control officer for input and just, us ordering.
Yeah. So like I said, neither are perfect because both have their own setbacks, their own faults, but I think we do need to do right by our animal control and give them a proper way to detain animals that safely and transport them safely. So
I agree with that. Animal control trailers are generally for transport, not for neighborhood pickup.
Yeah.
I like this. Where are they at? Are there any shipping charges involved?
so where are they at specifically? Do you remember?
It's a
Oh, it's
very
east.
slightly north.
Yeah, it's west of Dallas.
Dallas. I
Okay.
did call them today to find out, because it says installation at our facilities. I'm thinking maybe there's something down here and there's not. It would require an additional cost of driving up there, probably staying overnight and driving it back.
Okay, but the cost of the sliding containment unit. Yeah, it's 9902.
Yes, so where it says 8169 is just it with the stall, with the 4 stalls. The additional features are on the second page. There were other additional features. These were the ones that were chosen by animal control.
Floor mats.
So the floor mats, the exhaust fan. Yep.
The rear flood lights, backup alarm, and the installation.
Exactly. The rear floodlights, when speaking with Officer Maldonado, obviously what's in handy when it gets dark early or when they're out wrangling goats at night
Mhm.
and trying to get them in the crib. Well, not that the goats will get in this, but
Yeah.
the truck will still be there pulling the horse trailer.
So you
Okay.
would look at maybe an additional $1,000 for driving
That's not
over
in
them.
the cost of the unit.
Right. It's
That,
not,
You
that'll
mean
be
for the
operational.
overnight?
And the
Correct.
travel.
right, for the travel to hotel
Oh,
meals.
probably less than 500. One night stay.
Well, I don't expect anybody to stay at the Tom Bodett Road Motel,
Well, I don't expect.
I don't wanna make the Ritz, though,
$10,000 to
either.
go there overnight.
sending us pictures of, hey, that,
I was gonna go, I mean,
I'll take care of it.
okay,
well, since it is cheap, let's go back to Tom Bodett.
Yeah,
Motel.
the motel set.
Let's
Any-
stick with discussing
Yeah,
the unit.
any questions on the unit?
Well, it's got the exhaust fan, so we got a way to keep the animals cool. I think that's awesome.
And that's an additional, they also have pop-up vents
As well, yes.
Yeah.
in addition to.
That was
and then
my
the
biggest
windows are
concern.
solid.
And I did look for an actual replacement vehicle, and to be quite honest, they are about the same price, about 10 to 12 grand. For an actual ACO vehicle already equipped, but we don't know the maintenance, we don't know how many miles, you don't know if it's
A
gonna
$10,000 or
last.
$12,000 truck is not a bargain.
Right, right, yeah.
I've
A
spent
city-
hours looking for used animal control vehicles.
Yeah.
And a decent vehicle is $25,000-$35,000.
Yeah, it has a ton of miles, so,
And
And,
it's like
and
I
I've
said,
also looked at
Which
some
one
other
does one come
containment
from?
units, and I've not seen anything under 12,000.
Yeah.
So this,
And this sliding can go in the truck. If we have to replace the truck, we still have to slide into.
so I referenced the surplus, the gross profit that we had earlier, so that's where it would come from.
Awesome. Now I make a motion that we approve this for not more than $11,000 to cover the cost. of travel
okay,
expenses.
I'm going to interject, sir. Travel and pickup is an operating cost. It's not a cost of equipment. And I will
And not more than $10,000.
I will follow up on that. So I'm going to say, if I may
Take it,
recommend an amendment to your motion,
please do.
not to exceed $9,900. And there's a reason for that.
You want to hand somebody $2? It's $9,902.
Not $9,999. How's that?
I was
And
gonna,
there's a reason. I'm going to talk to you in a little bit.
I was gonna go for 10, but go with it. I'm good. I'll take that.
So that,
There's a reason not to, sir.
Okay. I'll make a motion that we approve it for $9,999,
Not to exceed.
not to exceed that.
I would second that motion.
all right,
And you'll educate me later.
I have a, all right, I have a motion from Alderman Coffindaffer and a second from Alderman Fillinger to approve a not to exceed amount of $9,999 for the purchase of a Jones slide-in animal control dog box. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right.
All those opposed. Thank you very much.
Mayor, I think she had some, you have something to put out as well?
Not on the
It's
agenda.
not,
The reporting,
no, it's not on.
I didn't have.
It's not.
Okay.
Okay, that's all right. All right.
On the next.
I shall.
The
I called out on me.
Hmm?
They voted.
NTE for the $9.99.
They voted.
Yep. All right, moving on. Parks and Recreation, updated announcements from Park Advisory Committee Chair Alderman Rapino with possible discussion and interaction. Alderman, you have the floor.
Okay, thank you, Mayor. We had, the park committee meeting last week. We discussed mostly what we propose doing in the future, so I won't discuss any of that yet until we firm things up. The ladies decided to take this week off.
Saw that.
They well deserve it. And the next meeting will be on September 5th. And that's all I had for them.
6:30,
Yes, always 6:30.
What's the date, sir?
September 5th.
The day after Labor Day.
I'd like to go to that meeting, just because I want to talk
I'll
about
remind
National
you.
Night Out. Yeah, please, please.
And they came up in the last meeting, actually right out.
Okay,
They wanted to
Alderman
talk to you
Rufino,
about it.
Are
Yeah,
you bringing a cake this year also?
I am bringing a cake, yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, I did last remember.
You did say cake, right? Not keg?
Cake, yes, but I'll bring a cake too if you mind.
Okay,
Hey, we got more.
just wanted to clear that up. All right, appreciate it, sir. Appreciate
Okay.
you. All right, moving on to agenda item 10, Public Works, updates and announcements from Public Works Director Priscilla Schmidt with possible discussion and action. Ma'am, you have the floor.
The Hilltop Peaks project is going well. There's still some hiccups in the road there. But the rest of it is looking really, really nice. And you'll have some let's-
How are the hours working out? Coming in early,
it's better.
better?
For right now for the heat with the guys, it is working out a lot better.
Okay.
They appreciate it tremendously.
How long are they coming in?
It was 8 to 5, it's now 7 to 4. We have enclosed on the maintenance yard. There was a carport that existed and there was one side that had a big hole on it. The other side was rotten. We got our panels and the guys welded stuff and now everything is all solid. Looks really good. I'll send y'all some pictures of the maintenance yard. That was really good.
Anything else? All right. Now to the meat and potatoes, discuss enter possible action on proposal received from Trico Enterprises to remove a broken electrical panel and install a new one. So in my discussion with our Public Works Director, the gate that is at the park, the electrical panel is in need of repair. They did receive a quote from Trico to go ahead and remove the existing broken electrical sub panel and install a new for $895. Are there any other details to add to that? No, I think that was,
Just pictures.
Which panel is that, ma'am?
It's gonna be the one that leads from, when you first enter into the park. And you pass up the motorized
Yep.
gate. The first pole that you come to, there's actually a box there
Mhm.
that feeds to that motor.
Yep. It's a 70 amp box.
I stopped by there. And
Oh, no, I'm more than familiar with it.
yeah, I just took pictures of the box. That's all they're gonna replace is that box. From what I understand. I don't have details of it.
it's not the one that's closer, the big, the
It's
bigger
the
one?
small
that-
box.
That's a small box in the middle of the area.
Okay,
Between the gate and our main manifold.
okay.
I move we accept the bid from Traco for the repair of the sub panel.
I'll second that.
Okay. So I have a motion from Alderman Fillinger and a second from Alderman Coffindaffer to accept the Traco bid of the removal and replacement of the broken electrical sub panel for $895. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed. Thank you. Okay. Moving on. Agenda item C, discuss and or possible action on quotes received for the purchase of a tractor with
I'd like to
implement.
address council on this item before we start discussing and.
Can you finish reading? I don't think the public heard what you're discussing.
Okay, please.
Yep, discuss and or possible action on quotes received for the purchase of a tractor with implements.
Okay,
ahead.
I would like to address council.
Sure.
I totally agree. We need a new tractor. And I totally agree with the selected implements. However, addressing some earlier questions. Municipal purchasing has rules under state law. There are 3 types of purchases that we might make. The first one is a micro purchase. And the qualification for a micro purchase is it's less than $10,000. So from 3 cents to $9,999.99. Our only qualification is it a reasonable and fair price for the value of our citizens? The next step up is what is considered a small purchase. And in Texas, that is from $10,000 even to $49,999.99. The qualification for that purchase is we have to receive at least 3 bids before we can approve that purchase. $50,000 and above for a purchase, we have to publish the need through a request for quotes, where we specify what we are desiring, or through a request for proposal, where basically we tell them what the end goal is and they propose things to it. So although I agree we need the tractor, we need to readdress if it's under $50,000, we need 3 qualified bids. If it's over $50,000, you can either go for a request for quotes or a request for proposal. A request for quotes would be something like a diesel powered tractor between 44 and 65 horsepower with these attachments. A request for quote would be 44 horsepower diesel with these things. So we have the ability in a request for proposal to look at a range of things. When we do a request for quotes, we pretty well need to detail what it is we're looking for. And with that said, I regretfully ask that this item be pulled as we don't meet the standards for any one of them.
The rules are the rules.
And if we're talking about that much money, I have to assume that we're going to be using ARPA funds.
No, well, I mean, we certainly can.
I don't see it in our operational budget for public works.
It's not in our operational budget, but we are currently running at a gross profit to the tune of $188,000. So I think it would be money well spent that's been sitting in our accounts for some time now. And I'm not set on that idea either. So
I would rather see our excess funds this year put into an investment fund for future capital investment.
and that's quite a possibility.
But that's neither here nor there.
Yeah.
I've requested this item be pulled, and that would be the end of discussion.
Okay.
What's wrong with the tractor we got?
It's just too small.
But sir, that's not on the agenda for a discussion, but.
No, you want me to spend $70,000. I think it's a fair question, but okay.
I agree.
That's okay. I won't talk anymore.
But yeah,
I
no.
agree, but that's a fair question.
Yeah. Okay, so because of the purchasing limitations that we do have, let's go ahead and pull this item. Hopefully get it in the next month. But we'll have to talk through the process of requesting for quotes, so. We will move on to item D. All right, discuss enter possible action on quotes received from Dilmark Heating and Air Conditioning for the preventative maintenance and safety inspection of 6 units at City Hall and 1 unit at the community center. All right, so what we have presented here today is a complete 34 34-point preventative maintenance plan and safety inspection. To look at all the units here at City Hall and I think one unit at
One unit at the community.
at the community center. So yeah, I mean, especially right now during this this time of the year where it's super hot. We definitely want to stay on top of our AC systems. I do believe some of them are operating poorly at this point, and so what we'd like to do is actually have them come out, test a few things, see where we're in need of repair, and that will have to be a separate item to be discussed later. But initially, to get this company out here, Delmark, and to actually do a full assessment on our equipment, we have this quote presented here today.
And they're going to turn over the 34-point inspection reports to them.
That is correct, sir.
This looks like a fair and reasonable amount of money to me for that type of inspection. And I think on the community center, Ms. Smith, on the community center, this price of $165, are they going to do the cleanings in that?
Yes.
Uh,
It's
yeah.
for the unit that's, has not been replaced
Yes, ma'am.
and it's in really bad shape. If we don't do something quickly, we're gonna lose that unit as well.
Yeah, right.
We just had to have.
No,
the part repaired.
I'm totally in agreement that we need to move forward with this as quickly as they can schedule it. Open for discussion, but I would move that we approve the City Hall and the community center air conditioning servicing.
So they're just coming out to clean
Clean and inspect, diagnose.
for $950.
No, they're gonna. clean-
7 units, sir.
They're gonna clean the units. They're gonna clean every single one of the units on the back of this building.
And the community.
That's what I'm saying.
And it could be, sir.
And they're gonna
Good
take
stuff.
photos of everything to let y'all know. They will send them to me. They will take photos of any and everything that they've done or that they find wrong with it. They will not touch anything if it does need to be repaired until they brought it to my attention, because they know that anything over $500 has to go before council. So I reiterated that because Beluga Air went to go fix something, and I mean, I called them out for service, but they fixed it. And I wasn't happy with that. And they've been supposed to be coming out here to service our units and they're not doing it. So I'm just gonna move forward with another company.
So do we know the reputation of this company? Did you
Reputable,
look them up?
Mhm.
What'd you find out?
the reputable company,
Any complaints?
reliable, no, not that I. They're close by, they're right here off of 181.
Here they're Atkins.
I see they're offering to come out more than once. How long have they been in business now?
I believe the gentleman that came out here, Michael, has been doing AC for 20 years. I don't know how long this Delmac has actually been in business. But I can tell you all this much, guys, it's not easy to find an AC company to come out here. That it's,
30 years of experience.
thank you.
All just a simple blue system.
That's what I was fixing to do.
Well, I only ask. I don't want us to get hit by some fly by night that's.
And I mean, what we can, and
That's fair. That's all.
I mean, the idea is we need to get them serviced, right? So whether we take this quote or not, we can do an NTE.
I'd make a motion that we accept this quote not to exceed $1,000.
I'll second. That air conditioner down the
Mhm.
community center is about to go.
Having 7 units inspected and cleaned for that price, that's a very good deal.
Oh, did they say how long they'll take to get out here? When you,
She's been tearing up my phone.
okay, good,
They're ready.
good. Yeah, let's get them out here
They
ASAP.
know the situation I've been dealing with the previous AC company. And she understands completely
They're
like
here.
what I expect of this company.
Okay.
So
Okay, cool. All right, so I have a motion by Alderman Coffindaffer to accept the quote as presented with an NTE of $1,000. And a second by Alderman Rapino. All those in favor say aye.
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 All right,
All those opposed. Thank you. All right, moving on right along. Yeah, I think so. I saw it was in the email. I think it just didn't get printed out. So discuss under possible action on a quote received from Northern Tool for the purchase of a trailer pressure washer. So we don't have any of the, yeah, we don't have it in here. It didn't get printed out. But basically it's just your standard pull behind trailer. It does have a water tank. It does have a heater. Yeah, and it does have the pressure washer all attached. You might be interested in what that is for. You know, it helps in the removal of graffiti. It helps pressure wash the signage that we have around the city. Basically, I mean, I think we can move it around and pressure wash, you know, all our buildings, our decking. We're not tied to a water hose. We're not tied to lugging around a pressure washer. I think it's a valid purchase. I think it's a good idea. And it should certainly come in handy. But that's up to y'all for discussion.
An off-road piece of equipment or on-road piece of equipment?
It's just a pull behind on your truck.
it's on road, slicing it, well,
thank you, Catherine.
That's off-road. No lights or anything on. Oh, there's not.
Well, there's no lights on it, so.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, is that it in the bottom right corner?
Those are just reflectors.
I don't think they're gonna be out at night, pressure washing.
Maybe not, but when you're on a public
Yeah,
roadway,
you still gotta have
a
lights.
chief might have a heart attack and have to
Put
turn
on
them over.
those magnetic lights and plug them into the truck.
Some LED lights can be installed on it.
Yeah.
let me interject just for a moment.
You know, it's just last night.
It's roadworthy and street legal because nobody's gonna buy a $10,000 pressure washer on a trailer that they can't tow behind them. Okay. Now, that said, the quote that we've received is for the pressure washer, an automotive battery, and a case of motor oil. I would like to remove the second two items from discussion because those are operating expenses. And neither one of them meets the threshold that requires city council approval. So I would just like to discuss the purchase of a hot water trailer pressure washer, 4 gallons per minute at 4,000 PSI. I've looked at some similar units and they all exceed the $10,000 threshold. Whereas Northern Tool and Equipment pricing this at $9,999.99 is the maximum we can price without going
Just
into.
go back up to the top page, please.
Sir.
Just talking to me.
No, I understand what you're saying. You want to pull that off so you can talk about $9,999.
Well,
I'm just-
again, sir, we have a capital asset that's depreciable over a number of years versus operating expenses that are not depreciable. We should discuss them separately if we need to discuss it all.
He just didn't know what you were talking about because he didn't have the luxury of having.
We don't have the numbers.
So now he's asking to see these two numbers, what you were talking about pulling.
The number is $9,999.99 for the pressure washer.
that a motion? Alderman?
I'm leaving it up for discussion. If
Okay.
anyone wants to discuss it. If nobody wants to discuss it, I will move that we purchase the item number 15739. Is that a 5?
157,595.
Hot water trailer pressure washer 4 gallon per minute, 4,000 PSI. Not to exceed $9,999.99.
In a second,
I'll second.
the suspense. Okay, so I have a motion from Alderman Fillinger and a second for Alderman Rapino to move forward with the quote for item number 157,595 hot water trailer pressure washer, 4 gallons per minute at 4,000 PSI with a not to exceed of $9,999.99. All those in favor say aye.
Right?
All those opposed?
Did you oppose?
He did.
Yeah, but
Just need to make sure.
Yep. Okay, that passes 3-1.
Can I make an additional motion, sir?
Yes, sir.
It's not on the agenda, so
No.
just the pressure washers on the agenda.
It is in reference to the purchase now.
Sorry, pass.
That we fund this from the public
Those
works.
two items are not on the agenda.
Do you want to, so do we?
Yeah, I withdraw my question. It's not on the agenda.
Okay. That's fine. Okay. That'll come out of our operating. All right, moving on. Old business. Agenda item 11. A discuss and or possible action on a work order from the city engineer related to recommendations on the city's plat application and approval process in compliance with House Bill 3699. So I have a call with, that's the one I forgot to talk about. I have a call with Jess, next week to discuss, the parking lot. And I also plan to address this with him at that point. So I'm gonna pull this for the next meeting. All right. Moving on, discuss any possible action on transferring the remaining balance of $23.03 from the road bond funds account to the general fund bank account and closing the road bond funds account. So as you saw in your financials, there's $23.03 sitting in the road bond fund. It's not serving any purpose, and the road bond has been paid in full, and we have closed out that project. So we can close out that account if everybody agrees.
Move to transfer the remaining balance from the road bond fund bank account to general fund account, close the road bond fund account.
I'll second that.
Okay, so I have a motion from Alderman Fillinger and a second from Alderman Coffendaffer to remove the remaining balance of the road bond fund of $23.03 to the general fund, closing out the road bond fund. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed. Thank you. Okay, moving on to the next item, 12B. Discuss and or possible action on resolution number 2023-179, authorizing and allowing a class of officials to include the municipal judge of the municipal court to participate in the municipal employee healthcare program and other matters related to the participation in the program. So what we have here is last year we approved to have the judge entered into our employee benefits, our healthcare, right? Is that what it was?
Yeah.
And so we just have to renew that on a yearly basis. So that's what we're presenting today with resolution number 2023-179.
I'll make a motion that we approve a resolution number 2023-179.
Second.
All right, so I have a motion from Alderman Rapino and a second from I'll give it to Debbie. And a second from Alderman Martinez to approve resolution number 2023-179. All those in favor say aye.
Right.
All those opposed. Thank you. And lastly, discuss under possible action on resolution number 2023-180, acknowledging receipt of certified appraisal roll and tax rate calculation worksheet and related matters. We did receive the appraisal roll. We did receive the calculation worksheets. I did work through them one by one to verify that their validity and that they're correct and accurate. I don't think we have the actual worksheets out here, do we?
No.
No, okay. Do they need to see that?
To certify. Yes, to certify needs to be presented to council.
Okay, so then we need to postpone this one then?
Well,
That was presented for.
No?
I don't remember ever presenting them with you, but I can.
okay. Very
We
submitted.
never have.
Okay. Well, I can testify that I would look through them one by one to make sure that they were true and accurate, that Bear County did complete them correctly.
And I received a copy. Yeah,
You did.
they are correct.
Any motion if anybody, or if nobody has any questions?
Okay, I move that we approve resolution number 2023-180. A resolution of the city council of the city of Sandy Oaks, Texas, acknowledging receipt of the certified appraisal roll and tax rate calculation worksheet and containing related provisions.
I'll second.
Okay,
Do we have to do this by name when we
No,
approve
sir.
or no? Okay.
all right, so I have a motion from Alderman Rapino and a second from Alderwoman Martinez. Approving resolution number 2023-180. A resolution of the city council of the city of Sandy Oaks, Texas, acknowledging receipt of certified appraisal roll and tax rate calculation worksheet and containing related provisions. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Yeah, that's an aye, but I got a question anyway, and I'll talk to you.
Okay, yep. All those opposed. All right, that passes. Thank you. All right, we are to our last item, I believe.
Move to adjourn.
All right, motion movement accepted. Thank you.
I'll vote yes on that one.
It is now 7:25. And we've closed.